The NBA world has just been rocked by a massive twist coming straight out of the Golden State Warriors locker room, and trust me, this one has fans, analysts, and even players stunned. A secret message from Jimmy Butler to Draymond Green has just gone public, and the fallout around this revelation is nothing short of explosive. If you've been following the Warriors season full of emotional swings, locker room tension, and unexpected drama, you know that anything involving Draymond Green tends to escalate instantly. But nobody expected Jimmy Butler, one of the league's toughest competitors and someone known for his no-nonsense approach, to step into Golden State's internal situation this directly. Yet here we are. And the message he sent? It wasn't soft. It wasn't friendly. And it definitely wasn't something the Warriors expected to face this early in the season. Everything started after the Warriors' frustrating stretch of games, where Golden State struggled to find rhythm even with Stephen Curry carrying the team night after night. Draymond Green, who returned from suspension hoping to stabilize the squad, found himself right back in the center of controversy after a few on-court incidents reignited debates about his impact, positive or negative, on the franchise. While fans were divided, Jimmy Butler apparently wasn't. Reports say Butler had been watching the Warriors closely from Miami, keeping tabs on the team because of his long-standing respect for Curry and his competitive history with Draymond. But what shocked everyone is that Butler decided to reach out privately, and then that private message somehow leaked. The message from Jimmy was blunt, direct, and honestly brutal. According to sources who heard the leaked audio, Butler told Draymond that the Warriors' problems were bigger than what fans saw on the surface. He reportedly told him that the team had lost its edge, that the defensive identity Golden State built its dynasty on had vanished, and that Draymond himself was running out of time to fix it. But the most shocking line? Jimmy allegedly said, "The Warriors aren't feared anymore, and you're the only one who can change that. But you gotta stop fighting the wrong battles." That single sentence blew up instantly across social media, with fans replaying it, debating whether Butler was calling Draymond out or trying to motivate him. But either way, it struck a nerve. When the audio surfaced publicly, reactions from inside the Warriors organization were mixed. Some players reportedly felt embarrassed that an outsider, especially a star from another conference, seemed to have a better read on their situation than they did internally. Others took it as a wake-up call, a reminder that the league no longer viewed them as the powerhouse they once were. And then there was Draymond's reaction, explosive, emotional, and absolutely vintage Draymond. Sources close to the team say he was furious that the message leaked, but not angry at Jimmy. Instead, Draymond was upset that someone inside the Warriors circle let it get out. It felt like betrayal to him. He apparently walked around the facility demanding answers, asking who leaked this? Who's trying to make me look weak? You can imagine how tension spiked after that. Butler, on the other hand, didn't back down. When Miami reporters asked him about the leak and whether the message was real, Jimmy didn't deny it. He brushed it off with one of those classic Jimmy Butler smirks and said, "If I said something to him, that's between me and him. But if people heard something, then maybe they needed to hear it too." That response sent waves through the league. It was almost as if Butler was acknowledging that the Warriors' culture had slipped and that maybe the truth needed to hit the fan before things could get better. One Miami insider even suggested that Jimmy has always had respect for Draymond as a leader, but he felt the Warriors veteran had lost his identity over the last 2 seasons. So the message wasn't trash talk, this was tough love. Inside the Warriors' locker room, though, things got complicated fast. Stephen Curry, always the calm voice in chaos, reportedly stepped in to mediate. He understood why Butler said what he said. He also understood why Draymond reacted the way he did. But Curry's main concern was how the leak would affect the team mentally. The Warriors have been fragile this season, with miscommunication, defensive breakdowns, role confusion, and rising pressure on younger players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. The last thing they needed was another public scandal. So Curry gathered the team and reportedly delivered a message of his own: whatever people are saying outside doesn't matter. But if one of us is leaking things, that's a problem we fix right now. The room went silent. Draymond didn't say much during the meeting, But teammates described him as locked in, tense, and clearly bothered not by Butler's words, but by the idea that Golden State's walls weren't strong anymore. For years, the Warriors prided themselves on being one of the most united, tight-lipped organizations in the league. What happened inside stayed inside. But now, with their struggles magnified, every disagreement, every frustration, every whispered conversation seems to find its way online. And that has only added to the pressure already boiling under the surface. Butler's message hit another sensitive point when he called out Golden State's lack of defensive fear factor. And honestly, it's hard to argue with him. The Warriors used to terrify teams with their switching, their communication, their unpredictability, and Draymond orchestrating everything like a conductor. Now, teams attack them confidently, knowing Klay Thompson isn't the defender he once was, knowing Draymond is one technical away from chaos, knowing the rotations are a step late. So in a weird way, Butler's message wasn't wrong. It just came at the worst possible moment, and the fact that it became public made it even worse. Meanwhile, fans online exploded with theories. Some said Butler wanted to push Draymond back into his old dominant defensive mindset. Others joked that Jimmy was trying to recruit Draymond to Miami, planting seeds with tough love. Some Warriors fans were angry, calling Butler's message disrespectful. Others thanked him for pointing out what the organization didn't want to admit. But the biggest conversation was about the leak. Who exposed the message? Why? And what does it say about the Warriors' internal trust? Sources inside Chase Center say management was blindsided. Mike Dunleavy Jr., the general manager, was reportedly frustrated and demanded that staff investigate how the audio left the building. According to one insider, Dunleavy told his staff, "This team is already under a microscope. We cannot afford self-inflicted wounds." The coaching staff also had to respond. Steve Kerr later addressed the situation subtly, saying the team needed to tighten up their communication, on and off the court. But Kerr avoided mentioning Butler or Draymond directly, likely to avoid escalating the drama. But if there's one thing NBA fans know, it's that Draymond Green does not stay quiet for long. Hours after the leak went viral, he posted something cryptic on social media. Not a video, not a rant, just one sentence, "Message received." Fans went wild. Was he responding to Jimmy? Was he responding to the leaker? Was he promising a turnaround? Nobody knew for sure, but everyone was waiting to see how Draymond would respond on the court. And for Draymond, that's where things get interesting. In the first game after the leak, Draymond played with a different kind of intensity, controlled, focused, almost eerie. He didn't argue with referees. He didn't get into scuffles. He communicated nonstop on defense. And the Warriors played their best defensive game in weeks. After that game, reporters asked Draymond whether the leak motivated him. He denied it, as expected, but his smirk said everything. Whatever Jimmy told him, whatever weight that message carried, Draymond took it personally. And when Draymond Green takes something personally, the NBA feels it. But the story didn't end there. New reports began circulating that Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green had a private phone call after the leak went viral. Apparently, Jimmy told him, "Now the whole league knows you're awake again. So go remind them who you are." That line has already turned into a meme among fans, but behind the scenes, it meant something deeper. Jimmy Butler has always respected players who fight, who grind, who carry fire every night. Draymond is one of those guys. So even though Butler's message seemed harsh, it came from a place of belief, not criticism. For Draymond, though, the leak forced him to re-examine things. Are the younger players still buying into his leadership? Are veterans beginning to question him? Are people inside his own locker room turning their backs on him? This season has already been emotionally heavy for him, with suspensions, media pressure, and questioning from fans about whether he still helps the team more than he hurts it. Butler's message didn't create those doubts, but it did bring them to the surface. Meanwhile, Curry continues carrying the team through the chaos, trying to balance patience, leadership, and urgency. He knows the Warriors are running out of time, not just this season, but era-wise. The dynasty core is aging. The roster is uneven. The chemistry is fragile. Every moment of drama chips away at what they're trying to rebuild. And with how public everything is becoming, Curry understands the importance of keeping the group together and focused.